What if I told you there's a single coin sitting in an old drawer, a coin so ordinary, most people wouldn't even glance at it, but it could be worth over $915,000. Yes, we're talking about a 1965 Washington quarter. No mint mark. No shiny gold. Just 25 cents in your hand, yet potentially your ticket to financial freedom. Now, before you toss that coin jar across the room to check, hold on. Because this story gets better. Much better. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal why this one coin can sell for nearly $1 million, how to know if your 1965 quarter is the jackpot version, and what you must never do if you find one. Spoiler alert, most people ruin their fortune without even knowing it. Stick around. Because your ordinary coin might just hold extraordinary wealth. Let's rewind to 1965. The United States was facing a national coin shortage. Silver prices were skyrocketing. And the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. They removed silver from the quarter. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But after that year, they were changed to a copper-nickel blend. Now here's where things get interesting. In the chaos of the transition, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets, silver discs left over from the previous year. And just like that, a mistake turned into $1 million opportunity, but not all 1965 quarters are valuable. In fact, most are worth only their face value. So the real question is, how do you know if you've got the rare one? We'll get to that. But first, here's a twist you didn't see coming. Quick question, what's worse than losing a winning lottery ticket? Easy. Spending a rare 1965 silver quarter on a vending machine soda. Sounds ridiculous? It happens more often than you'd believe. Alright, let's get to the heart of it. How do you identify the valuable 1965 quarter? Start with the basics. No mint mark. That's expected. In 1965, the U.S. Mint didn't use mint marks. Check the edges. If your quarter has a solid silver edge without the copper stripe, it could be silver. Weigh it. A copper-nickel quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver planchet version? 6.25 grams. If you spot that extra weight, don't rush. You might be holding a coin that recently sold for $915,000 at auction, but here's where people go wrong. Some try to clean the coin, polish it, or even drill a hole in it to turn it into jewelry. That's like wiping your $1 million check with ketchup. Never alter a rare coin. Ever. Now, let's talk about why this coin is selling for so much. Scarcity. Only a few examples of the silver 1965 quarter are confirmed to exist. Combine that with the year's historical significance, and you've got collectors willing to pay a fortune. And if you think the silver quarter is the only valuable version, wait until you hear about the double die error that could be hiding in your stash. But let's stay focused for a second. You walk into a coin shop with a dusty old quarter, and the dealer's face goes pale. That's either the start of a horror movie, or the moment your life changes forever. So what should you do if you think you've got the rare 1965 quarter? First, don't clean it. Second, store it safely. Use a soft cloth or place it in a plastic holder. Then, and this is crucial, get it professionally appraised by a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify if it's authentic and give it a grade that will directly influence the value. Once verified, you have options. You can auction it, where competitive bidding can push the price up. Or you can negotiate a private sale, especially if you're working with collectors or dealers who specialize in Washington quarters. Now, here's the part that should excite you. Point one of these coins. An unassuming 1965 quarter, sold at auction for $915,000. And there could still be more out there. Yours might be next. Think about it. One tiny detail, a gram of silver, a missed minting process, could be your chance to change everything. Pay off your debt. Travel the world. Help your children. Retire early. All from a coin people ignore every day, but the clock is ticking. These coins are being discovered fast. And the longer you wait, the fewer remain. Check your coins. Look through that jar. Go back to the old piggy bank, the drawer, the attic, because the 1965 Washington quarter that makes you a millionaire could be sitting there right now. Now imagine that same coin is worth over $900,000, would you let it sit there a day longer? This isn't a fantasy. It's the reality behind one of America's most overlooked coins, the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter, and here's the kicker, some of these are still out there, hidden in old jars, dressers, and forgotten shoeboxes. Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal the exact details that make this coin so insanely valuable, how to know if you own one, and why time is running out to cash in. Let's dive in. The year was 1966. America was reeling from the recent assassination of President Kennedy, the Vietnam War was in full swing, and the U.S. Mint was undergoing a major transition. Due to a nationwide coin shortage, mint marks were temporarily removed from coins. That's right, quarters from 1965 through 1967 were intentionally struck without a mint mark. At first glance, the 1966 quarter looks ordinary. George Washington's profile. The familiar eagle on the back. No mint mark. No warning signs. Just 25 cents, but beneath that plain appearance lies a shocking truth. One specific version of this quarter has recently sold for $912,000 at auction. You might be thinking, how is that even possible? Well, here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Not every 1966 quarter is valuable. The one worth nearly $1 million had something special, something that only trained eyes and high-powered magnification could catch. It had a striking error. Specifically, it was a transitional error, a mistake made during a change in the minting process. Some of these coins were accidentally struck on planchets intended for earlier or different denominations, like silver-clad coins or even foreign blanks. Others display doubling on key design elements, or unusually strong strikes due to misaligned dies. These are not errors you spot easily. But once identified, they turn that pocket change into a windfall. Let me pause and ask, have you checked your old coins lately? No, seriously. When's the last time you opened that coffee can in the garage or sorted through that Ziploc bag of junk coins from grandma? You might laugh, but someone recently found a rare 1966 quarter tucked inside an old family photo album. True story, and here's what makes this even more urgent. Collectors are actively hunting these coins. The demand has exploded, and with fewer being found every year, the window to strike gold is shrinking fast. Just imagine selling a single coin and paying off your mortgage, or gifting your kids a debt-free future. Sounds far-fetched? It's not. It's already happened for others. The question is, will it happen for you? Does the coin lack a mint mark? That's normal for the year. Next, check for sharp doubling on the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust. Is the edge clean, or does it look silver rather than copper-colored? That could mean it was struck on a silver-clad planchet, a rare and valuable error. Also look for any signs of off-center striking or unusually thick rims. Once you've spotted a potential winner, do not clean the coin. That's like repainting a Picasso. Instead, consult a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can multiply your coin's value by 10 or more, and when it comes to selling, go to reputable auction houses or trusted numismatic marketplaces. Don't let a fast-talking pawn shop owner lowball you out of a life-changing payout. Let's recap. A regular-looking 1966 Washington quarter, struck without a mint mark, has sold for $912,000 because of a rare mint error. It could be hiding in your house. The market is hot. The buyers are waiting. And every day, more of these coins vanish into collections, forever. Now here's the cliffhanger, there's another Washington quarter from the same era, just 1 year off, that's now valued at over $1.20 million, and chances are, you've never heard of it. That story's coming next. No, this isn't a dream. It's not a scam. This is the true story of the 1984 Washington quarter, a coin that has stunned collectors, shocked auction houses, and quietly made its way into the vaults of millionaires. And here's the real kicker, this coin could be sitting in your drawer right now. So before you toss out that old change jar or let someone underpay you at a garage sale, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this rare gem, why it's worth nearly $1 million, and how to turn pocket change into a wealthy lifestyle. But first, how did a regular 1984 quarter become the stuff of legend? Let's rewind to 1984. Ronald Reagan was president, Michael Jackson ruled the charts, and pocket change was just that, change. The Denver Mint pumped out hundreds of millions of Washington quarters that year. Most were ordinary. But some were not. Some left the mint with a secret, a rare minting error, a unique combination of die alignment, doubling, and planchet flaw that only occurred in a tiny handful of coins. Think of it like this. If coins were people, this version of the 1984 D quarter would be the genetic mutation that turned a regular person into a superhero. Undetectable at first glance, until you look closer, and when collectors looked closer, they saw something shocking. On certain 1984 D quarters, the mint mark is misaligned, the details in Washington's hair are unusually sharp, and the lettering shows signs of a rare double die strike. These anomalies pushed a humble quarter into a new category, the ultra-rare high-value error coin. Still think that change jar in your closet is just junk? Let's pause here for a second. If you're thinking, come on, who even checks their coins anymore? That's exactly why stories like this happen. While most people sleepwalk past opportunity, a few stay alert, and end up rich. Quick question, have you ever accidentally tipped someone $1,000, in quarters? Well, someone might have, and they'll never know it. That's why we need to talk about what these coins are selling for right now. At a recent private auction, a 1984 D Washington quarter in near mint condition sold for a staggering $905,000. Not because it was made of gold. Not because it belonged to a celebrity. But because it had the right errors, the right condition, and the right buyer. That single coin changed the seller's life. Imagine clearing your debt, buying a home, taking early retirement, all from a coin that once bought a gumball. But here's the twist, this isn't a one-off story. As awareness spreads, more collectors are hunting this quarter. And that's driving up the market value. Fast.so. If you think you can sit on this info, wait it out, think again. The market moves quickly. Every day you wait could be a missed opportunity. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have this quarter? What should I look for? What mistakes should I avoid? Great questions. And the answers might shock you. First, grab a magnifying glass. Look for the D mint mark just below the wreath on the reverse. It should be slightly off-center or unusually placed. Second, examine the text. Focus on the words, liberty, and, in God we trust. If you notice doubling in the letters, that's a major red flag, in a good way. Third, feel the texture. A true error coin may have an uneven surface, subtle ridges, or a duller tone compared to others from the same year. If you find one that matches these signs, do not clean it. That can ruin its value. Instead, get it professionally appraised. Now, because here's the real urgency, as more people cash in, fewer rare coins remain in circulation. The window is closing fast. You wouldn't clean a Picasso with Windex, so don't polish your rare quarter with toothpaste. Alright, here's the truth. Most people walk past wealth every single day, because they don't know what to look for, but you're different. You stayed. You paid attention. And now you have the knowledge that could unlock real value, possibly life-changing wealth. From a coin hiding in plain sight, the 1984 D Washington quarter is more than metal. It's a symbol. A reminder that great value is often hidden, and only those with vision and action will claim it. So check your quarters. Dig through your change. Ask your family. This coin is real. The money is real. And your time is now. If you learned something today, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone you care about, because they might be holding a $905,000 coin without even knowing it. You're not dreaming. This isn't clickbait. This is the real story of a rare coin, overlooked by millions, now commanding a fortune at auction. Imagine reaching into your old change jar and pulling out a coin that could pay off your mortgage, wipe out debt, and fund the retirement you've always dreamed of. And the craziest part, most people throw it away without even knowing that. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what makes the 1988 D Washington quarter so valuable, how you can tell if you have the $1 million version, and why coin collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on it right now. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal the one tiny detail that turns this common coin into a financial miracle. Now let's dig in. Your future might be hiding in your pocket change. Let's rewind to 1988. The year this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. At first glance, the 1988 D quarter looks ordinary. Same metal. Same face. Same eagle on the back. But here's the truth, it's what you don't see immediately that makes this coin worth nearly $1 million. Now here's where things get serious. Out of the hundreds of millions of quarters minted that year, a tiny fraction had a minting error so subtle, most people never catch it. We're talking about a misaligned die strike that causes irregularities in the design, a misprint, a flaw, a mistake, and the jackpot. Why is this important? Because collectors crave rarity, especially when it's an error that shouldn't exist. But don't get too excited just yet, not all 1988 D quarters are worth more than a hamburger. So how do you tell if you've hit the jackpot? Look closely. The valuable version has a die crack near Washington's hairline, and the mint mark D appears slightly lower than usual. In some cases, the edge reading is misaligned, giving the coin an unusual texture. These quirks signal one thing: you're holding a unicorn. And here's the real kicker. At a major coin auction last year, one of these 1988 D quarters sold for $897,500. Another went for $912,000. That's not collector hype, that's hard cash. Imagine missing out because you didn't check your loose change. By now, you're probably thinking, wait, could I really have one of these? Stick around, because the final part of this video could be your golden ticket. When was the last time your laundry paid your bills? If your answer was, never, that might change by the end of this video. So let's talk practical steps. First, grab a magnifying glass. You're looking for 3 key indicators: a slightly off-centered mint mark D, lower than the standard position; a die crack across Washington's temple or above his ear; any signs of weak or doubled strikes, especially around the lettering. Second, condition matters. If the coin is uncirculated or has minimal wear, the value skyrockets. But even a circulated version can go for tens of thousands if the error is strong enough. Now, where do you sell it? Top-tier auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers are your go-to. They know how to handle 6-figure coins. And here's the best part: these places often cover grading, insurance, and shipping once your coin is verified. But here's the urgency: the coin market is hot right now. Collectors are scrambling to secure pieces from the 80s and 90s before prices spike again. That means the value of this quarter could climb even higher, or, if you wait too long, cool down as hype fades. You don't want to be the person who finds the coin 5 years too late. There's a 1 in 500,000 chance that you're sitting on one of these treasures right now. But those odds? They're still better than the lottery, and unlike scratch cards or casinos, this one doesn't cost you a penny. Literally. So after this video, check your change, dig into your drawers, and search every forgotten jar in your house, because your $1 million quarter could be waiting. And when you find it, and I hope you do, remember this moment. The moment you realize that even something as ordinary as an old coin could change your entire life. Yes, I'm serious. There's one specific coin, a 1992 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark, that recently sold for a jaw-dropping $887,000. And here's the kicker: most people who owned it had no idea. Now before you rush to your junk drawer or coin jar, let me ask you this: what if you've already spent it? Scary, right? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to identify this incredibly rare coin, why it's so valuable, and how it could change your life forever. We're not just talking about pocket change. We're talking about life-changing money. So let's rewind a bit and start where most stories don't, in your very own hands. The year is 1992. Bill Clinton is running for president. Gas is just over $1 a gallon. And somewhere in the minting facility in Philadelphia, something unusual happens. Among the millions of ordinary quarters, a small batch is struck using an older reverse die, a leftover from the 1991 proof quarters. This mistake is subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye, but to a collector, it's like striking gold. These error coins are known as 1992 Washington Quarter P mint mark with a close AM reverse, and they are worth a fortune. Now here's the urgency: only a handful have been discovered. We're talking less than a dozen known examples. So how can you tell if you have one? Simple. Flip the coin over. Look closely at the word America. In the rare version, the letters A and M are spaced much closer together than in the normal version. Seems like a small detail, right? But that microscopic difference is what separates a 25-cent coin from almost $1 million, and remember, these coins are circulating. Someone might have just handed one to you in change. Or maybe, you've had it sitting in a drawer for decades. Imagine the regret of tossing it in a vending machine that I know. Now you're thinking of every quarter you've ever lost. Same here. Here's a question to jolt you. When was the last time you actually looked at your coins? Exactly, most people don't. That's why most people miss out, but you're not most people. You're here because you want more. You want to learn. You want to find value where others overlook it. And maybe, just maybe, you want to turn an old coin into a legacy. So let's get specific. What exactly makes this quarter so special? Besides the close AM reverse, these coins have an extremely high-grade strike. The surfaces are smooth, sharp, and crisp. One example, graded MS 67, sold for $887,000 at auction. That's nearly $900,000. For a quarter, let that sink in. 25 cents turned into a house. Or a luxury car. Or early retirement. So now we've come to the question that matters most. What will you do? Will you forget about this the moment the video ends, or will you grab that jar of coins collecting dust in your closet and start searching, because the opportunity is real? And it's sitting in plain sight. Every week, new discoveries are made by people just like you. People who paid attention. People who took action, and you don't need to be an expert. You just need to look. It starts with one coin. One quarter. One moment of curiosity that could lead to a lifetime of change. And here's where it gets even more exciting. There are other 1,992 quarters, including the Denver Mint version, that may be just as rare and just as valuable. But not all of them have been found. So the next time you receive change, don't just put it in your pocket. Examine it. Study it. Because you might be holding a fortune without even knowing it, and if you find something suspicious, something rare, don't guess. Get it appraised. Because that small sliver of metal could be your escape from debt, your ticket to freedom, or the inheritance you leave behind. Now, in our next video, I'm revealing 3 other quarters from the 1990s that are just as valuable, one of which has never been seen in circulation again. Could it be the one in your hand? Subscribe now so you don't miss it. Remember, you're just one coin away from rewriting your story. Stay curious. Stay vigilant. And whatever you do, don't spend that quarter.